So as you know, the whole focus of this week is to encourage you to remember the benefits of arts and education. That's going to include performing arts, visual arts, dance. We are here this morning at the Cleveland City Ballet, courtesy of Connie Gatlin. She and her beautiful daughter run this treasure in Cleveland. Thanks for welcoming us in.
Oh, thank you for coming.
So we fell in love with your bragging wall here. How many lives you have touched, Connie?
Well, it's a blessing to me. You know, everything you give away comes back tenfold. And I have so enjoyed getting to know all of these young women, watching them grow from little bitty pink ballerinas into these lovely young women you see on the walls. It's a true blessing.
There are so many things that we can and will, I hope, have time to talk with Connie about. One, a lot of people watching you who are from the area are going, oh, that's Miss Gatlin, because you taught in the Bradley Central High School system for a long time.
I did. I came to Bradley High School and they had never done a full-length musical and hadn't done a full-length play in 10 years. So I was able to get the first one up and running, and then we did them every year as a highlight for all the kids who were into this. I loved casting every child who came to auditions because there's always a place in a chorus for any child who wants to be a part.
Right. So, you know, I think you and I found a kindred spirit, and I guess all of us will if we're loving the arts. I was an artistic kid as a child, and obviously I didn't pursue theater in my life, but I do talk every day.
It's very similar.
You don't have to plan to do this for your life's job and career to find lifelong inspiration in it. Wouldn't you agree, Connie?
Oh, I agree. I agree completely. It is an experience, an 8-week rehearsal schedule for a group of high school kids. It teaches cooperation. It teaches concentration in learning the material.
Imagination.
Imagination is so key. We have a poster on the wall here that I think it was Einstein who said, imagination is more important than knowledge. It's a definite tool. It's problem solving. How do we figure out how to get this motorcycle to run from one side of the stage to the other? Right. It's just such a great communication, and communication is essential to all of our lives.
It's also, I mean, we're going to wax philosophical here a little bit, but it's also knowledge that you gain. So at a time when we talk about mental health in this country being such a challenge for kids especially, having the release of an artistic time in your day is very therapeutic.
It is extremely therapeutic.
So let's talk about the mom in you, because here you are, you were a mom to all these kids for a long time, but a mom to a beautiful daughter who came to you one day and said, guess what? She wanted to be a professional dancer, and she did it.
She did it. Yes, she did. With the Lord's good grace, she's had some great dancing jobs.
Brag.
Everybody has heard of the Rockettes, Radio City Rockettes. And I remember she went to 3 auditions. And on the 3rd audition, she called me and she was just quiet. And she said, Mom, I think I did it. 600 girls auditioned that day, over 600. And she was one of 4 chosen. She loved her Rockette time. I loved her rocket time. Gotta say, it's very affirming when your child is having fun and doing exactly what they've dreamed of doing.
So let's talk a little bit about ways that your life has led you down other paths, because that's kind of how it works in any time you're pursuing what you love. Yeah. So you had your time as the director of the theater department there at Bradley Central and bringing the show choir there. Mm-hmm. Then you can't talk about Cleveland and not talk about the museum center. You were instrumental in that.
That was another blessing that came to my life. I was in a committee meeting one day and the idea came up. They had 7 history periods of the Cleveland history from the beginning up until current day, and they had 7 living history characters. And an idea popped in my head, and we developed the 7 living history characters to appear before students dressed totally in historically correct garb, and the kids loved it.
And you wrote the stories.
I was able to write the individual monologues for each one of the characters. It kind of sparked my interest in writing, and I've tried to do more of that. But I loved presenting the museum characters to the world.
And doing more of that, you've published one book. You've got 2 in the works, is that right?
I have 2 more in the works, in the computer. When things slow down a bit, I'm going to finish those.
Well, it might be a bit, because you're also working on bringing this new kind of an alliance, is what I'll call it. You can explain it more. But in the months to come, February, Cleveland's doing a big fundraiser towards this effort.
Yes,
What
we
is
are.
it?
This alliance, it kind of generically came about. I didn't set it up. I didn't call for it. None of us did. But there was a point in time when 24 artists, various genres, various representations, got together, and all they wanted to talk about was the lack of an arts center in Cleveland and Bradley County. We just don't have one. And so thank you for the yet. We're working on it. It is to be a visual and performing arts center, visual arts as well, workshops, rehearsal spaces. We have a marvelous orchestra and pops here in Cleveland. We're bringing all of these efforts together. We've made strong connections with our city council and with our county commission. We've received a couple of grants. We're moving forward. But this is a long-range goal. We know that. But the first big fundraiser is in February.
So, as you've heard us say before, we're hoping that you'll consider this week as a time to think about, as part of your year-end giving to the local arts department, performing or visual, in your respective area of the viewing area where you live. If you are here in the Bradley County, Cleveland area, and you want to give towards this effort, you're more than welcome. And since Connie mentioned the visual arts, we're going to hear another performance, and when we come back, we will check in with quite the artist here.
Yes.
In Cleveland and Bradley County, and check in with her and talk about the power of the visual arts. Thank you for the welcome.
Thank you, gorgeous.
Hey, dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, they're making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleigh song tonight. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle, jingle bells, jingle, jingle bells. A day or two, jingle bells, jingle bells. And soon Miss Maggie Bell was seated by his side. The voice was in and late, Miss Trajan seemed his thought. He got into a drifted bacon, then we got upside. Whoop, whoop, upside. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow, one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, they're making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride. Jing, o'er the fields we go, Jingle bells, oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jing.
You love where you live and know you're not